Hey everyone, what's going on? Today I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on how to make all A's in school while playing Borderlands 2, which is an awesome game. If you haven't played it already, I highly recommend you do. With Borderlands 3 coming out later this year, which I'm super psyched about, and I'm sure a lot of you are too. So just a little bit of background about me. Um, I'm really not the smartest person. Only made like a 1230, 1240 on the SAT out of high school, and which, if you don't know, isn't all that spectacular. I really didn't do well on it, but in undergrad, I went to a top 25 public institution in the United States, and was a health science major, and finished with a 3.86 GPA last May. And you know, I've noticed a lot of people who made higher SAT scores than me just didn't do well in undergrad just because they didn't know how to study. And learning how to study is a skill that people can work on. And I'm still using a lot of these study skills now in graduate school and physical therapy school that I'm attending currently. So I hope you guys use these and hope it helps some people. And if it does, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you have any other tips, leave those too so other people can learn. So I really hope this helps some people, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing is commitment. To be able to make good grades, it's not, you have to commit yourself. You have to say, this is what I want to do. And if it's not what you really want to do, that's totally fine. I mean, that's not for everyone, but you have to commit yourself. And there's no easy way around it. There's no easy strategy to say, hey, look, I'm going to get all A's by doing the bare minimum. No, you have to commit yourself. And that's really the first stage here. So now, after you've committed yourself, and that's what you really decided you want to do, layered learning is what I like to call it. And this is how you're really going to make all A's. So really, a lot of people, what they do is they go to class. This is mainly geared. All these skills can be used at any level of education, whether it be middle school, high school, undergrad, or grad school. But what a lot of people I've noticed do is they go to class or they go to the lecture and they listen to the lecture and they take good notes, but that's all they do. And that's simply not enough. So this layered learning model is really going to kind of help you do more than that and really help you master and learn the information for good. So the first stage of that is initiation, which is just going to class, going to the lecture, taking good notes. That's what pretty much everyone does. It's important, but it's not sufficient. You have to do other things besides just show up to the class to be able to make all A's, to be able to make the grades you desire. The second stage is rehearsal. So what I mean by rehearsal is repeating the information over and over and starting to really learn it and everything. So to do this, what I would recommend doing is after you go to a class, all right, you take notes in class and everything as soon as possible, as soon as you can, look over the notes, look over the information, and then write it down. There have been so many studies out there that have shown that writing down the information from the class and writing it down on paper has shown to help you learn it better. So really just write it down. Don't type it, write it on a sheet of paper, pen and paper, and do that. And then the stage 3 is what I like to call mastery. So after you have it written down and you've gone over the information, it's time to master it. And mastery, there's a couple ways of doing it, but to do this, what I would either do is I would make up questions and make a practice test for yourself. But I found that to be kind of difficult. So instead, for mastery, what I like to do is I like to make flashcards. And this is especially helpful for classes that are straight memorization. And so many classes out there are straight memorization. If you can memorize things, you're going to be good. So use a flashcard app. So there's a couple of, you can obviously make paper flashcards, and that's cool, but that's kind of time consuming and it takes a lot of flashcards and you got to carry those flashcards around, and that's a pain in the ass. All right, I don't like using paper flashcards, but if that's for you, go for it. But I like to use, there's two apps or two websites, I guess, Brainscape and Quizlet. My favorite one is Brainscape. You can go to it at www.brainscape.com. Check it out, it's free. Both these are free, actually. And the reason I like Brainscape more than Quizlet is, so you make flashcards, and then whenever you test yourself, it'll be like, what nerve innervates the quadriceps muscle? And if you don't know it, then you put a 1. If you know it completely, you rate it a 5. And there's 1 through 5 in between, so if you kind of know it, put a 3, etc., etc. And so if you rate it a 1, if you rate it lower, it'll pop up more, so it allows you to work on what you don't know. And if you rate it a 5, so let's say you do know that, it won't come up again as much. So that's why I really like that app. So if you be honest with yourself and rate yourself how much you know something, it'll be helpful. You can create different classes, different decks inside the class. So I really highly recommend checking this out to master the information and really learn it. And Quizlet's another option. A lot of people are familiar with that one, but it's kind of the same deal. Just check them out in your free time. I think that would be it's really beneficial. And the last stage, a lot of people forget, but it's important if you're going to do well on the test, but maintenance. So after you master the material, after you've rehearsed it by going through and writing it out, and then you mastered it online on Brainscape or doing flashcards or a practice test or whatever, you want to maintain and learn the information. So to do this, again, just for 10-15 minutes a day, look over past information from the stuff you're learning. That's going to be on the test. Look it over. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but you want to maintain your learning so you're not forgetting it. It's really important because it's like, if you learn it and then you forget it, that does you no good on the test. So maintain your learning by going through, maybe keep doing those flashcards, look over the information, maintain your learning. So that's really that layered learning model that I've kind of thought of. That really does help, I promise you. So here are some just extra tips that that have helped me. So sleep. Sleep at least 7 hours a night. Especially when you have a test the next day. Like staying up till midnight and waiting till the last minute to study does not work. Like you're going to be extremely tired and feel like shit, and then your brain's not going to work for the test. So get sleep. Like it's simple, but it's important. And also exercise. Like there is a biological association between exercise and brain functioning. You have to get up and move. Like at least 30-45 minutes a day in between study sessions. So don't study for more than 30 minutes at one time. Like get up and move around. Even if just walking around your apartment or doing some stretches or whatever, don't sit down and try to study for 3 hours straight. That's not going to work. It's not healthy and it's not going to work. Get up and move. Do something different. Don't try to cram in studying all at once. Study along and break it up. That's really, really helpful. And then also this one, use extra time wisely. So many people do not do. Like it's insane. So let's say you get to class 10 minutes early and you don't have anything to do. Don't just sit there and screw around on your phone or talk to your friend or do whatever. Study the information. Study what you've learned in other classes to help prepare you for the test. Work on something. Be productive with your time. If you're riding a bus to class or to somewhere and you have your stuff with you, look it over. Study. Don't waste your time, because that's going to be, in that downtime, if you use your downtime wisely, you're going to have more free time whenever you are done with class and can relax more. So use that free time wisely. Whenever you have a down moment, look over stuff. Don't waste time. That's really important. And also ask for help when you need it. Don't be afraid to ask for help or seek out help from others, from a teacher or whoever, because you need to learn how to ask for help. And people will help you, and you just have to ask. And if you ever need anything, like, just ask me. Like, I'm not saying I can help you with everything, but if you don't know who else to turn to, feel free to ask me, and I'll do my best to help. Also, the last thing I want to leave you with is take a deep breath and relax. If you're struggling in school, just take a deep breath, use these tips, and know everything's going to be all right. Don't stress over the little things. So guys, I hope this really did help you. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And If you have any suggestions for future videos and want more detail on things, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video.